My first wife had sugar problems and still got primary custody of our son. I was young, 22 at that time, and didn't fight her in custody. And when he got older, we weren't close. So I felt awkward asking him to live with us. She tried to prevent us from communicating and moved around a lot, so it was always hard to spend time with him until he got his phone. But now I've spent more time with him and we are close. My second wife is hardworking and very financially successful as an engineer. She makes more than me. Our daughter takes after her. She's a straight-A student and is going to be back in school to be a nursing practitioner soon. My wife is angry with me because my daughter and I aren't close. She goes to her mom for everything and doesn't speak to me much. We were close when she was young, but since high school, she pretends I don't exist. I try to reach out, but it's met with silence. My wife poisoned her against me because I've spent most of my money on my son. My wife told my daughter I didn't pay for a cent of college for her, and she did all the savings for her college fund. I didn't contribute to my daughter's college fund. I didn't pay for any piano lessons, etc. I did pay for half of the family's expenses with my wife, like the mortgage, but my extra money's been going to my son. It's partly child support, but I've also been contributing outside of that. He didn't finish school with good enough grades for college. I gave him money to upgrade his grades and helped him get a place to start college. He got 2 semesters in and then left because he was depressed. He has a lot of issues from growing up with his mother, and I feel partly responsible because I didn't try to fight for custody. I give him money for rent, and he has issues holding down a job, so he needs support. My daughter recently reached out with a schedule for her and her fiance's wedding. It had his and his mom's dance, but not the father-daughter one. I was confused and asked my daughter about that, and she replied, "We aren't close enough for that." I was shocked and asked her why would she consider us not close, and she said, "Well, you disinherited me." I called her and asked her to explain, and she said because her mom paid for college and would be helping her with her NP degree. I didn't give a crap about her after middle school because of my son. I explained everything I said above to her, and she knew most of it before that as well. She said I should have split my funds and time between them. I told her I felt like I did, and she got angry and said I didn't. It's like a single mom raised her, and that's why she's uncomfortable with having a wedding dance with me, because it would be a lie. I felt like I was fair to them. I lived with my daughter. I just didn't pay for things outside of food, mortgage, utilities, etc., because I felt like my wife had it covered, and my son was getting nothing. My ex-wife wasn't saving anything, and I wanted to help him because he had a much harder time than my daughter, who had an attentive mother. But she felt I was prioritizing my son, and in her words, disinherited her. I feel like she should understand the situation, but she didn't want me to be included in the wedding much. Poor little OP, nothing's ever your fault, is it? You didn't father your son because of the evil ex, and you didn't fight for custody, even though you paid child support, and you didn't father your daughter because you spent all your time and money on your son, and your wife poisoned your daughter by telling her the truth, and somehow this was enough to trump all the actual parenting because you were still a fully involved parent, right? Right? Somehow it's all the women's fault that you didn't raise either of your kids. Sure, you are the idiot, mate. Like, don't be obtuse. Use your brain. And it's pretty obvious. You fell into the very common but still unacceptable trap of ignoring the child you think didn't need you, at least not like your son, and overcompensating with the child you perceive as needing more. If you can manage a sincere apology and work on yourself through therapy, your daughter may come around. Your end goal, however, should be to realize your mistakes and be better, not corral her into the relationship you want. She doesn't owe you that. This, 1,000,000 times this. My mom did this to my brother, and I neglected him and spoiled him because she was convinced he needed her more. Some of the disparities are comparable to what OP describes. I will never be close to her. She literally ignored me in my time of greatest need when I was pleading for help, And I will never forgive her for that. OP, you have your work cut out to make up for neglecting your daughter and leaving your wife to be a single parent. You didn't disinherit your daughter. You neglected her in an effort to save your son. You failed both. Apologize to both. Vow to be better and do it. I, 28 male, was raised in a rural area where kids grow up fast. When I was 5, I walked alone to the bus stop by the side of the road. By 9, I was already driving in the property. I now have a preteen son with my ex-girlfriend, 26, and we have shared custody. Granted, we now live in the city, and I know times are different, but I don't see anything wrong with letting him walk 2 blocks to get some candy at 7-Eleven or something. His mother disagrees with this, but in my mind, I'm free to make my parenting choices just as she is. I just asked my son not to mention anything so as not to start trouble. Important to say, I didn't ask him to lie to his mother just to keep his short walks between us. Well, one of my ex's friends who also lives in the neighborhood saw my son walking alone by the park. My ex called me to say I was putting our kid in danger and called me an idiot for making him keep this from her. Because, of course, I told her it wasn't the first time, as a way to show he's responsible and has proved to be trustworthy with the small freedoms I give him. Am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. Just because it was safe when you were a child doesn't mean it's still safe. A rural area and an urban area are very different in their levels of safety. Across the street, 2 doors down, maybe 2 blocks, at his age? That's a no from me. And don't tell your mother is lying. Lying by omission is still lying, so you're doubly idiot. You did ask your son to lie. It might not have been those exact words, but you told him to keep it a secret between you and him, and that's not cool, man. Why is your kid walking alone in the park? Why don't you want to spend time with him at the park? I mean, he's 7, not a tween or a teenager. I get what you're saying, but have you walked with him to shops previously and had a very serious conversation about what potential dangers he has to be prepared for? When and where you grew up is completely different to now. That poor boy can be snatched quicker than a kid taking candy on Halloween. You're an adult. Stop being lazy and walk your son to the store. In actuality, the reason we're more diligent with watching our kids these days is because of the old days when people didn't watch their kids and they were disappearing off the streets in the front yard. Remember the kids with their picture on the milk carton? That was real. We were not safe when we were young, and things are the same. We just protect our kids better than we used to, except OP, of course. I have a 26-year-old daughter named Ava. We helped her put a down payment on a house, and she's changing things in the home. I've often told her to hire a professional if it's not a DIY project. I've had to fix so many of her projects, and I put my foot down, telling her I will not help her from now on. Ava mentioned changing the tile in the bathroom, and I told her she should hire someone for that if she isn't using stick-on tile. Well, she tried to do it on her own, and she made a huge mess of the bathroom. She called me up and asked if I could fix this. I told her, I told you so. We've done this dance too often, and she needs to hire someone to fix it. She told me it would cost her thousands to fix, and I could do it. I told her no again, and she called me a jerk. Now she has a messed up bathroom since she needs to save up for someone to fix it, and she thinks I'm a jerk. Am I the idiot for telling my daughter I told you so, and I am not fixing it? Not the idiot. She's happy to take your money and your DIY skills, but would prefer that you keep your advice to yourself? Ugh! She messes up, and then you get a call? Weaponized incompetence. She knew she couldn't do it, but if she messed up badly enough, Daddy would come to save the day. Princess is being dethroned a bit too late in life, but late is better than never, I suppose. I agree. OP, are you sure, like really sure, that this is just a freakish amount of cases of her overestimating her capabilities? Is she not banking on the fact that you'll come to her rescue? So, in effect, are you paying for her renovations? It seems that she starts these and screws them up to force you into fixing it for her, because that would still be cheaper than having a pro do it right the first time. Agree entirely. I wouldn't be fixing anything for her. I would hand her a hammer and chisel and talk her through pulling up everything she damaged. Most people become dramatically more competent when they work to fix their mistakes with guidance. It shows them exactly where they went wrong, makes them think about how to avoid those mistakes next time, and what the correct path forward is. That's no different than tutoring any other subject. I, 26 female, was lying in my bed last night around 7 p.m., eating popcorn and cranberry cookies while watching a movie. My boyfriend, 28, who doesn't live with me but has a key, came over after work. He recently got a new job and has been working nonstop for the past 4 months to save up for a new car. I'm talking double shifts, overtime, working 7 days a week, hardly sleeping, just working all the time. So as a result, I only saw him approximately 3 times in the past 4 months, and each time we didn't do anything because he was super tired. Anyway, he came over last night to see me and scolded me for eating cookies on my bed, saying I'm messy, so I'll leave crumbs for ants to bite him when he sleeps. I responded by just staring blankly at him for a couple of seconds. He said, "Oh, I forgot you were on your period." I said, "What? I'm not on my period." He looked confused and pulled out his phone. He said according to his period tracker, which, mind you, I didn't know he had, I was supposed to start my period on the 13th. And by me not being on my period, it means I'm late. I told him that I've been stressed out at work and home life lately, so maybe that's why it's not here yet. He said, "Or maybe you've been having fun with other people while I've been working hard for us." At this point, I'm offended and upset. He then demanded that I take a pregnancy test. I told him that I just don't have pregnancy tests lying around. He said, "Okay," and left. I tried calling him, no answer. He returns 10 minutes later with a pregnancy test from the pharmacy up the street. I was appalled. My jaw is still on the floor. I told him that I wasn't pregnant because I hadn't done anything to get pregnant, and I was not taking a pregnancy test, and that if he didn't trust me when I've done nothing wrong, he needs to figure out why. He said that if I can't take a pregnancy test, that just proves I have something to hide. I asked him politely to leave, and he did. I thought that was the end of it, but this morning I woke up to a bunch of messages from him, his best friend, and his sister, all calling me horrible names for cheating on him. In one of the messages, he calls me an idiot for not taking the test to please his mind. I haven't responded yet because it's 6:38 a.m., and I don't know what to say. Am I the idiot? So he reprimands you like a child for eating food in your bed. He brings up your period and whips out a period tracker that he's using without your knowledge, accuses you of cheating, tries to force you to take a test for his benefit, and then gets multiple members of his family involved, telling them that you're cheating, and gets them to berate you into doing what he tells you to do because he wants it. Girl, this man is a controlling, abusive idiot. Run now, because this will not get any better. Trust me. Is this the kind of person you want in your life? No. You are not the idiot, but dump this guy. I wonder if he thinks the earth is cheating on him when his weather app is incorrect. OP, change the locks of your house and dump the crazy guy. This is not a person you want to be in a relationship with. This is a major red flag. He's controlling and ignorant at the very least. Getting people to harass and berate you is very alarming. He's trying to manipulate you into thinking this is okay. Probably gave an exaggerated story to them to make you look like the bad guy. But I would have taken the test and dumped him. See? Not pregnant, as I told you. Since you clearly don't trust me, I have no reason or interest in continuing this relationship. I suggest you read a book and research before you get with your next girlfriend. Bye. And then block on everything. I'm male 32 and my wife 30 have been married for 5 years and are expecting our first child. She's in her 6th month of pregnancy. She has a very tomboyish style, wearing only loose t-shirts, jeans, sneakers, and caps. She never uses makeup, dresses, heels, or accessories. I don't mind this because it's her personality, and I respect that. However, next weekend we're attending my younger sister's wedding. It's a formal and elegant event, and I know my family will judge my wife for her style. They're very conservative and traditional, expecting women to dress femininely and appropriately. I don't want them to talk behind her back or cause any embarrassment. So I asked my wife to dress more femininely for the wedding. I suggested she wear a nice dress that complements her belly, comfortable yet stylish shoes, and maybe some makeup and earrings. I told her she'd look beautiful like that, and it would be a special occasion for both of us. She got angry with me. She said I was trying to change who she was, and that I didn't accept her as she was. She said I was shallow, and should care more about her than other people's opinions. She said she would wear what she wanted, and if anyone had a problem with it, they could go kick rocks. I was disappointed with her reaction. I wasn't trying to change who she was. I just wanted her to feel good and fit in at the event. I don't think I asked for too much. I just wanted her to make a small effort for me and my family. Now she's not talking to me, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to cause problems between them, but I also don't want to hurt anyone. Am I the idiot? Edit. For the wedding, she'll wear a black pantsuit, a white shirt, Oxford shoes, a bow tie, and a flower brooch. Imagine saying to a pregnant woman, "You're not feminine enough." Is being pregnant on its own not feminine? Why not defend your wife if your family decides to judge her or talk about her behind her back? I don't want to hurt anyone. You already did that by telling your wife that even though her planned outfit meets the dress code, you don't like it. You absolutely mind what she wears and use the entire story to double down on why you should have a say in what she wears. He's not worried about her comfort at all. He hasn't mentioned how her pregnancy's going or how she's feeling, but he's also preoccupied by how she'll look to his family, who's already judging her. I hope she decides to just stay in and rest on the day of. Let's see how comfortable yet stylish he looks at the wedding without a wife. Maybe instead of policing your pregnant wife's clothing, you could police your family's secret snark talk. You said what she's wearing is appropriate, but not ideal. Get over it. Do you make her pretend to be another woman every time there's a family event? You are the idiot, dude. It's time to start valuing your wife above judgy witches. Yeah, at 6 months of pregnancy, I wear whatever I want to make myself comfortable. Do you and your family have a problem with that? Great. I'll just stay home and relax on the couch instead of making an effort to socialize with your family with my watermelon-sized stomach, back pain, and swollen feet. You seem to care more about your judgmental, snobby family than your pregnant wife. Gross. Do better.